It's a great honor for Barbara and I to be here tonight. I want to thank Mohammed Bataina and the Board of Directors of the members of the American Chamber of Commerce for inviting us tonight on this very special occasion. I would also like to thank His Excellency Mr. Samigomo for his vision and leadership and for his outstanding sense of humor. As you can see now why the diplomatic community enjoys him so much. You know, when people speak about the Arab Spring, they often invoke the so-called Chinese proverb or curse, "May you live in interesting times." It's known as a curse because people associate peace and prosperity with times that are not interesting. It's better to have, as President Bill Clinton used to say, to enjoy the simple blessing of a normal life. And there's truth to that. So let me tell you something I learned as I was researching this so-called Chinese proverb. It turns out that it's not Chinese at all. There's no record of it in Chinese literature or history. And the first time it appears is in 1936 in a letter between two Englishmen. But it still kind of works because these are interesting times, and I have enormous respect for those of you who have the courage to operate businesses under these difficult circumstances. I will say this at the beginning, and I'll say it again at the end of these remarks, that the United States Embassy will support you and your business efforts, your commitment to grow the economy of Jordan and to promote commerce between our two countries in any way we can. At the American Embassy, we see this as our responsibility, one of our top objectives, to support business and trade in Jordan. Of course, we want to expand trade between the United States and Jordan, but we also want to just expand trade and investment and business activity in Jordan. President Obama, in June 2009, told an audience in Cairo that the best way for the United States and our friends in the Middle East to expand trade and investment, as well as mutual understanding, is through partnership. Partnerships between our governments, partnership between economies, and partnerships between our communities. The American Chamber of Commerce here in Jordan is an example of the kind of partnership that the President was talking about. It has been a vehicle for positive change and significant success. But the current challenges are as important as the past successes. Since 1999, King Abdullah has had a strategic vision for Jordan to develop a productive, innovative, and knowledge-based economy. And since 1999, the American Chamber of Commerce has played a leading role in transforming His Majesty's vision into a reality by deepening the commercial ties between the United States and Jordan. Jordan has many milestones to be proud of. Foremost among these is the U.S.-Jordan Free Trade Agreement, signed in 2000 and brought into full effect soon after. The FTA's benefits are undeniable. In 1999, U.S.-Jordan trade totaled $307 million. In 2010, it totaled $2.2 billion, an increase of over 600%. I'm glad that my figures and Sammy's figures are the same. That should give us all confidence, right? In the first 9 months of this year, bilateral trade exceeded $1.9 billion. That's 22% higher than the trade figures for the first 9 months of last year. When you look at what that 600% increase represents, you see that both countries are benefiting. In 1999, Jordan exported $31 million worth of goods to the United States. In 2010, its exports to the U.S. totaled $1 billion. U.S. exports to Jordan grew from $275 million in 1999 to $1.2 billion in 2010. Not only is Jordan exporting more, it is exporting a greater variety of goods. Textiles continue to comprise the largest percentage of exports. But Jordan is increasing its exports of manufactured metals, jewelry, pharmaceuticals, fertilizers, agricultural products, machinery, and of course, air conditioning. The government of Jordan estimates that the free trade agreement has created more than 50,000 jobs over the past decade. This quantitative and qualitative expansion in trade is a remarkable achievement. In addition to facilitating growth in trade, this chamber has supported the development of a business climate that has attracted significant U.S. investment in recent years. Total U.S. investment in Jordan equals $2.2 billion and represents 10% of all foreign investment in Jordan. There are exciting new investments and projects coming online as well. The Albemarle Corporation has invested $150 million through its joint ownership of the Jordan Bromine Company. I met with the board of directors of the Albemarle Company several weeks ago in October, and it is now planning to double its original investment in Jordan to meet rising demand for bromine. You know, it's an interesting story. There's only two other places where you can mine bromine. One is on the India-Pakistan border, and the other is in Arkansas. And the mines in Arkansas are tapped out. And the expert told me that the Dead Sea has an unlimited supply. So this is an opportunity that Jordan has for some time to come. AES Corporation, since 2007, has invested $300 million in Jordan's electricity sector. AES has built Jordan's first independent power plant, which is providing Jordan and the Middle East with electricity for just under 4 cents a kilowatt hour, the most cost-effective power in the region. AES is also contemplating doubling down on its investment in Jordan's market. And its projects have also attracted other American and international investors to Jordan's power sector. And let me add, because our colleague from AES is here, it is also a leader in corporate social responsibility. Other major U.S. investors include Baldor Apparel, which has invested $10 million. The National Poultry Company is a multi-million-dollar investment owned by Del Monte Corporation that has created 1,400 jobs. I'm proud of the positive impact of these investments on the Jordanian economy. These companies are providing an expanded menu of goods and services to Jordanians, and they're enabling Jordanian manufacturers to sell their products to a larger market. But big investments from international corporations are not what drive an economy. Jordanian and American experts agree on this point, that small and medium-sized enterprises are the universal engine of economic growth. Here in Jordan, SMEs generate 70% of all jobs. They account for 40% of GDP, and they account for 45% of Jordan's exports. The United States wants to help Jordanian entrepreneurs gain access to credit, technology, and expertise so that we can unlock the full potential of these innovative Jordanians. The United States recently announced a $250 million program with which the Overseas Private Investment Corporation will guarantee loans from Jordanian banks to small and medium-sized enterprises. It was my honor on the margins of the World Economic Forum to sign on behalf of the United States this agreement. The program is expected to facilitate over $300 million in new SME financing in its first 5 years. It will also create, if all goes well, 31,000 jobs. As part of this project, our colleagues at USAID will provide technical assistance to participating banks in areas such as bank staffing, bank organizational structure, the design of SME loans, and the design of credit policies. This assistance will help Jordanian banks build their capacity to sustain increased lending to SMEs over time. In his speech in Cairo 2 years ago, President Obama also proposed an initiative that he called Partners for a New Beginning. It aims to establish partnerships between public and private institutions in select countries in order to expand citizens' economic opportunities, access to education, and also access to technology. Partners projects have already fostered entrepreneurship, provided microloans, and empowered women in Turkey, Pakistan, and Egypt. I'm delighted that President Obama and Secretary Clinton have selected Jordan to participate in Partners for a New Beginning. Jordan's chapter of the Partners for a New Beginning held their first meeting last month, again on the margins of the World Economic Forum. I know many of you attended, and you can be sure that the American Embassy will support this initiative. The U.S. Commercial Service also supports the development of entrepreneurship in Jordan by bringing Jordanian businessmen to trade shows in the United States. In the past 2 years, the Commercial Service has brought 110 business owners to trade shows such as Greenbuild Expo in Chicago and a Packaging Supply Expo in Las Vegas. And through its Gold Key matching program, the Commercial Service is always looking for companies here in Jordan, in all business sectors, that U.S. companies can partner with to enhance profitability on both sides. My colleague Paul Bruning, who's here tonight, oversees USAID's economic development programs in Jordan. He is engaged in dozens of other programs to foster job growth and economic expansion, from training programs for tourism workers to support for Oasis 500. USAID is working in every part of this economy to foster innovation and entrepreneurship. But there are challenges that Jordan must face in order to accomplish these goals. One significant challenge will be for Jordan to implement economic and political reforms that will make Jordan more attractive and transparent for business, both home and abroad. The World Bank's 2012 report on the ease of doing business around the world showed that Jordan lags behind global and regional competitors when it comes to creating a welcome business climate for foreign investment and business development. Jordan ranked 96th globally and 9th in the Middle East, North Africa region on the World Bank scale. If we want to position Jordan as a regional hub, these indicators offer us, as a team, as a partnership, a useful focus. Jordan has moved backwards in the access to credit category from 130th in 2011 to 150th in 2012. But we hope that the OPIC program with the loan guarantees can address this. Jordan has also moved backwards in bankruptcy procedures category. One entrepreneur who passed through Amman a few weeks ago told us that he was considering investment in Jordan. And he said, look, it's easy for us to establish a business, but we need assurances that we can close a business. And Jordan, and he will not invest until he's sure he can get out of here. So Jordan should reduce the amount of time and money that it takes to close a business and to resolve bankruptcy cases. Jordan improved in the ease of starting a business category. According to the World Bank, starting a business in Jordan requires 7 bureaucratic procedures, takes 12 days, and costs 13.9% of income per capita. That's an improvement over last year's cost of 16.3%. I commend Jordan on its progress, and I look forward to working with all of you to continue streamlining these procedures. Fortunately, many of these structural barriers for growth are being addressed by His Majesty King Abdullah's reform agenda. The United States is proud to support reform programs through technical assistance through our technical assistance. But there's another aspect of this problem which I think AmCham is uniquely well positioned to address. We need to do a better job of explaining to the Jordanian people what these reforms will, that these reforms can create a stronger economy and improve their lives. Many are skeptical that the benefits of economic growth will reach them and their families. I've now met several dozen of AmCham's members. Many of you have navigated very difficult circumstances. Many of you are heroes of the Jordanian economy. I would like to challenge you to undertake a communication strategy in support of His Majesty King Abdullah's economic reforms to explain their benefits to the Jordanian public. Another thing that I think the Chamber can do is to encourage companies, both here and abroad, to pursue the many opportunities for trade and investment that Jordan offers. First, we need to use the FTA more. The QICs have played a critical role in Jordan's economic development. I visited a QIC in Zarqa yesterday, and I saw the economic impact that the QICs are having. Pentra Engineering, our sponsor this evening, is an excellent example of how Jordanian companies can use the FTA to gain access to the U.S. market. I urge the Chamber to encourage companies to take risks under the FTA's umbrella and look for new export opportunities in new economic sectors. One specific idea along these lines, on which I would like to cooperate with you in the coming weeks, is to think about how we can more effectively use the FTA to link with U.S. firms that are interested in working in Iraq. Iraq is the burgeoning market in the region. The government of Iraq is projecting $200 billion in infrastructure spending in the next 5 years. Many of us have talked about encouraging U.S. firms to use Jordan as a platform to enter the Iraqi market. I was down in Aqaba 2 weeks ago, and I was stunned by the volume of container trade bound for Iraq. My friend Mike Malik is already developing this model for Citibank, using Jordan as a platform to enter the Iraqi market. Let's work on this together. Third, we need to encourage investment here and abroad in sectors that have the best growth potential. We're all aware of the opportunities in energy. Specifically, my embassy is in contact with a U.S. company that is in the process of deciding between Jordan and another country to establish a liquefied natural gas plant. LNG requires a pipeline. The project's total investment value will exceed billions of dollars. Jordan's national energy strategy for 2007 to 2020 offers incentives for U.S. firms to invest in renewable energy projects. The U.S. Trade and Development Agency recently completed 2 feasibility studies on the possible construction of 2 solar energy plants in southern Jordan. And OPIC is funding a 90-megawatt wind power plant in Fujairah that will generate clean and renewable energy. The embassy is also very bullish on Jordan's IT sector. The IT sector is the 3rd largest contributor to Jordan's economy, generating 14% of GDP. IT companies in Jordan attract $150 million in investments annually, and they employ more than 16,000 professionals and provide indirect benefits to 80,000 Jordanians. Many of us here met John Chambers from Cisco when he was here with the web. Here is a Fortune 500 CEO who wakes up in the morning and thinks about Jordan. The Chamber can promote all of these trade and investment opportunities, and the U.S. Embassy can help. We have a wonderful team of professionals at the American Embassy. Sandy Owens, our commercial attaché, Joyce Wong, our economic counselor, Paul Bruning, who I mentioned earlier, and also Beth Page, our new AID director. We're all on the same team with the same objective. One new idea on which AmCham and the Embassy have agreed is to hold monthly meetings. Each month, we will focus on a separate sector and meet with your members in that sector. This will enable us to support you better. And you can be sure that as we navigate the challenges ahead, that the American Embassy will work in a spirit of partnership with government leaders and the AmCham to grow trade and economic activity between our countries. Let me close with a quote by Robert F. Kennedy. In 1966, in Cape Town, South Africa, at a time of cruel apartheid, Bobby Kennedy said, "There's a Chinese curse which says, 'May he live in interesting times.' Like it or not, we live in interesting times," he said. "They are times of danger and uncertainty, but they are also more open to the creative energy of men and women than any other time in history." Ladies and gentlemen, I can think of no greater creative energy to unleash in Jordan than the energy of the American Chamber of Commerce. Your country is lucky to have you, and it is my great honor to be with you tonight. Thank you very much.